Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are talking about one of my absolute favorite tarot decks, and that is the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. I've been using this deck for years now, and it is one of my absolute favorites. I use it a lot. You can tell just by the condition of the box that it is very much a deck I use in my collection. It is one of my most used decks for sure. It's probably top 3 most used decks. I just love this deck. So as someone who's used it for a while, I thought I would do a little review on it. I'm very familiar with it, and for those of you that are interested in picking this deck up, you get a chance to check out the deck and see what it's all about. So if you're interested in seeing this deck, keep on watching and let's get into it. Okay, so as for the packaging, it comes in your standard tuck box style packaging. Usually I don't love this type of box, but this has the flat bottom, so it doesn't have this tab on the bottom side, so when you take the cards in and out, it's not going to damage your cards. And honestly, this is a really beautiful tuck box because it has all of that gold foiling on it, so it doesn't bother me. I actually like the size of it. It's very compact. It's just the size of the cards, which is nice if it's a deck you're going to travel with a lot or take with you to do readings, which is something that I do. So I like the box. It doesn't bother me. It is a little tattered. I'm going to have to kind of reinforce it a bit, but apart from that, I like it. So this deck is made by Lo Scarabeo. If you're not familiar with them, they are a very accessible printing publishing deck company. You can get them on Amazon. That's where I got mine. It's a cute little white booklet, I guess. It's nothing fancy at all. There's not much information on the cards in the booklet if you're hoping for that. There are a lot of decks out there that come with really helpful, great booklets. This isn't really one of them in that regard, but it's a quick reference like all of these little white booklets are. If you need it, it's there. It's not something I would consider a plus for the deck, but it comes with it, so I thought I'd share it. These decks are also made in Italy. Just wanted to share that as well. If you're curious about where the decks are made, it says it right on the bottom. Made in Italy. This deck does also come with these just 2 little extra cards. One that's just kind of like a title card for the deck, and then this Tarosophy Tarot Association that you can join. It's just information cards that come with the deck. So here are the back of the cards. They are not reversible because of the crescent moon and star center situation. If you can see right here, the rest of the card is all the same, but this would make it where you'd be able to tell if it's in reverse or not, if you care about that. I don't read in reversal, so this isn't an issue for me. Just thought I'd share it for those that do. So as for the cardstock, I've said this before, but I'm not super picky about cardstock. I'm not a snob, if you will, about it. But obviously I have my preferences like everyone does. And honestly, this is really nice cardstock in my opinion, especially for the price of the deck. It shuffles really well. A lot of people actually comment on that when I do readings with this deck. They're like, it feels like just watching you shuffle that deck, it looks like it's like meant for you. Like it just glides in your hand so nicely when you shuffle. And I like that about this deck. I would almost call this like a satin finish. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's how it feels to me. They just shuffle really well, and I like the size of them. They're not too big. It's kind of like a standard tarot card size, honestly. But yeah, again, I'm not a big picky cardstock person, so it's hard for me to have a huge opinion on it, but just so you know, it's pretty durable. It's, I guess you could say, on the thinner side, but I feel like it's the perfect density for shuffling and for frequent use. I mean, like I said, I use these cards a lot. It's one of my most used tarot decks, and they're still in really good condition, so they're not by any means like a cheap cardstock. And for me personally, they're one of my favorites in terms of shuffling. But again, just my personal opinion. So I don't have these cards in order. I use them a lot, and I didn't put them in order for the video, but I am going to flip through them just so you can see what the artwork looks like. As you can see, they are visually stunning. They have this gold foiling on them that's very reflective and beautiful, and it makes for just, it adds this layer to your readings. It just adds this beauty to a reading as the cards kind of go down on the table or wherever you're doing the reading. Just that added glow to the cards is really beautiful. I love it. Some of them have a little bit more foiling than others, but they all have it. They're just gorgeous cards. I love them. As far as the artwork goes, it is what people would consider a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, where the artwork is very similar to the original Pamela Coleman Smith artwork. Just kind of like the artist. This deck in particular is very much a clone. There is, you know, some artistic differences just because obviously a different artist reimagined the pictures, but it is very traditional, which I like. My workhorse decks are RWS clones or RWS. That's just what I like. That's what I like to read with. But I do like having some unique decks for different types of readings. For your standard reading, this is the kind of deck I gravitate towards. I just love it. I love the traditional artwork. I love this artist's take on it. I really enjoy it. I love the colors in this deck. Again, I love that gold foiling. Really makes the cards pop in a reading. Most people are drawn to this deck, I have found. When I do readings and I give people the options between a couple different decks, and it's funny because a lot of times they haven't seen what the actual artwork on the card looks like. They have just seen the back. But I've noticed tons of people feel a pull towards this deck. It's an interesting thing. It's more often than not a deck people choose for their reading. So pretty. Great sun card as well. Like even the harsh cards in this deck, because they have this foiling on them, and something about the way the artwork is, the way these images are depicted, something about the way the artwork is done, I don't know. It doesn't feel as heavy. It doesn't feel like it doesn't hit the way that it should either though. Like it still has the effect I feel it should, but it's just not as heavy. I love this deck. Honestly, it's one of my absolute favorites, like I said at the beginning. It's a gorgeous Temperance card. This and the Strength card are on the box. They're just gorgeously depicted. I really love them. I love the Star card as well. Just wanted to give you the opportunity to look through these if they are a deck, if this is a deck you're considering getting. Wanted you to be able to see what all the cards look like, because I am a freak and I won't buy a deck most of the time unless I have sat through a couple flip through videos and like really thought about it. So I wanted to give people the chance to see these cards. Like this is, I love this Three of Cups card. So pretty. This Ten of Cups too. The gold in this card almost just gives it that wham that you really want with that card. I feel that way with the Ace cards in this deck as well. This is a beautiful Hermit card. As for titles, you're not going to have the titles of the cards, as you can see, even for the majors. So if you're a beginner and you don't know the names of the cards, that might be a setback for you. That might be, you know, something to consider if you're trying to get your first deck. Maybe you want to get something that has the titles of all the cards. This isn't an issue for me, but just something to consider for those that like that or want to have that. But see what I was saying though really quick? It just has that like wham. Like the gold just gives the Ace cards that extra like boost you want. Beautiful World card as well. I just like also like the aspect ratio. I don't know, is that what it is? Or just like the perspective. That's what it is. I love the perspective of these of this artwork in this deck. It's a little closer up than in the traditional RWS artwork with a lot of the minors. And I really appreciate that. I love this queen. She's so beautiful. This is another really like great take on the Four of Wands. Again, a clone, but close up, and I love that about these cards. It's a little closer up, so you get a little more of the emotion on the people's faces in the minors. It just, I don't know, it helps paint the picture a little better. I love this Empress card as well. See, again, a little closer up, a little bit bigger of an image of her than you see in the traditional Eight of Swords, but yeah. Not that you don't get that the point is still very clear in the traditional imagery. I just like that in this deck it's a little closer up. It's all preference, but I love it. Again, Ace card, just so powerful. I love this Magician as well. The Magician is one of those cards for me where I'm like, it's gotta have a good Magician. I have several cards like that I look for in a deck, but when I'm looking to get a new deck, it's gotta have a good Magician card, and this one really does. Ugh, and I love the Ace of Cups. Again, another card that I look for in a deck. I love the way that this deck reads. If you're someone that likes kind of RWS clones, as they call them, this is probably a deck you will love. I think this is a great deck. If you're a beginner, if you can get over the fact that it doesn't have the names of the cards on them, I highly recommend it. If you're wanting something just slightly different from the traditional RWS, this would be a great option. I would maybe just sit down and make sure that would probably be my jumping off point, is making sure that I know which card is which, since you're just going to be going off of numbers for everything, honestly, and as long as you know the suits and all of that. But yeah, all right, everyone, so this concludes my review of the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. I absolutely love this deck, as I mentioned. It is absolute favorite in my collection. It's a workhorse deck for me. I hope this video didn't come off too terribly biased because of that, but I think there's a reason why it is such a well-loved deck in my collection, why I use it so very much. And I just wanted to share it with you all. If you're looking to pick up a new deck, I figured why not share one that has served me so well in my collection. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, whether you liked it or you didn't, whether you have it and you love it or you don't too. Also, if anyone has any gold foiling like this in their collection that they really love, go ahead and share that down below as well too, if people are looking for decks like this with the gold foiling. I know that's what I was looking for when I ended up finding this deck, and I looked at a few different ones. This was the one for me. I just loved it. I'm so glad I got it because it's become such a staple in my collection. But there's tons of other really beautiful ones out there. So share those below for anyone who's looking for a gold foiled deck. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope if you did, you'd consider subscribing to my channel. I post content around tarot and spirituality. So if you have any requests for the kind of content you would like to see on here, I would love to know what you guys are looking to see so I can tailor what I'm putting out there to what you guys would like to know about or learn about. Again, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care and be well.